Now, some of you may be new here. Again, we're on NBC Sports on Peacock. This is our second season. Our terrestrial radio world kind of got a little bit flipped upside down in a way. So you might be new to this show. If you are, let me just say this. We came on the air in 2014, okay? Came on the air in 2014, and at the time, one of the first items I discussed and pounded this very table that you're hearing, hopefully through your microphones, thing that I was pounding the table, and Chris Brockman, who was there, we'll recall it, was the crumbling relationship between the 49ers and their head coach, Jim Harbaugh, was front and center.
Absolutely.
And I kept saying, come home, Jim. Come home. Come back to the University of Michigan. That's what I said.
I heard
over and over again. Come on home, Jim. And people were saying to me, Rich, you're crazy. You're crazy. He's not going to do that. He's not going to take a college job.
Why would he do that?
Guy just coached in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago. He's not going to do that. He's not going to come back to the University of Michigan just because you're asking.
Can't hurt to ask, though.
Well, it happened.
It did.
It happened. And, all of us and the fan base and the alumni association and so on and so forth, we got very excited about it. And why not? He was also, in terms of me personally, he was my first quarterback.
When you went there?
Yes. I was a freshman in 1986. I remember going to the ticket office on State Street. There's a little car that got parked right outside, where cars weren't really supposed to be able to stop and park. And I'm like wondering, who does this person think he is? And the person who got out of the car was Jumbo Elliott and Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, yeah?
The two of them coming out of the car, and the car lifted a little bit higher as Jumbo got out. And I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
That's cool.
That's my quarterback who beat Ohio State after saying we're going to beat Ohio State and went to the Rose Bowl. That was my guy. And then they lost the Rose Bowl. It was my first introduction to being disappointed, ultimately, as a Michigan fan. And it was a tough lesson to learn, but positive things came out of it. Because Ohio State said, you know what, we need a new head coach. We're going to take the guy that just coached the team that just beat Jim Harbaugh and Bo, John Cooper. He's coach of Arizona State. They took him, and we beat him like the proverbial rented mule.
You did.
And that's been my point to Ohio State fans who have been living it up, and rightfully so, since the century turned. It's cyclical. Doesn't last forever, is what I've been saying.
Just seems like it does.
It's what I have been entirely resting my rock firm belief on that, as well as Jim Harbaugh. You guys know how many times we come in here after the losses to Michigan State and then Ohio State, 5 in a row for Jim coming into this year, all of them since he took the job. It's Jim there. He can't win the big one. He's not going to win the big one. Do you want him out? Which is like the third rail subject line for a Michigan fan because he's one of ours. He's Bo's quarterback.
And you got that question a lot.
All the time. And all I kept saying was, yeah, he's going to be the guy. I did. Mm-hmm. And I also said, well, who else if not him? You're not going to get somebody who knows the institution, who loves the school, loves this, loves that, about the maize and blue. Also, he lives next door to his parents who get to look out their window and watch their grandchildren play in the backyard.
Exactly.
Jim's my guy. I kept saying it. Even this year, after losing to Michigan State, I came on this show and I'm like, everybody take a breath, take a beat. All has to happen is Michigan State has to lose twice. And we went out. We go to the Big Ten championship game for the first time under Jim Harbaugh. And that's what's happened.
Let's go.
I have done this show with my name on it for 7 years. 7 long years. And I have not once been able to come on this show and say the words I'm about to say.
Never, never, never.
Take that, Ohio State. You take that and like it. Because you have no choice. You have no choice but to take it. None. And I don't want to hear about, well, it's been a long time. As, believe it or not, John Legend sent back to me, because I did go down a whole list of people on Twitter, like Arya Stark on Game of Thrones. I kept firing away. I went about my day after winning the game. I just tweeted out
You had a death list, is what you're saying?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Albert Breer got some.
Oh, he
Chris
had to.
Carter got some. And why not? John Legend went at him, too. Mr. Ohio State, Mr. Ohio.
Did Liz get some?
You know what?
We got to hit her up.
I just tipped my cap in your direction, sir.
I didn't see this.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And he responded, well, congrats. It was a long time. He's put long 8 times. I mean, and again, I understand it's been a long time. But 1 of 1. 1 of 1. 1 of 1. And not just any one. No. An imposition of will. An imposition of will. And a guy in Harbaugh who decides, you know what, I'm going back to my roots. I'm going to run the ball down your throat. I'm going to take somebody like Hassan Haskins and run him downhill, down at you. And I'm going to get somebody like Aiden Hutchinson to come around the edge, and David Ajabo to go with him. And I'm going to get somebody who kind of looks like me playing quarterback, and Moxie and Cade McNamara. And I'll get some other kids to come at you. And you can bring your Scarlet and Gray, and you could bring your Heisman candidate. You could bring your snubbed, unfortunately, and wrongfully snubbed Biletnikoff wide receivers. You can come in our house, and the football gods are going to give us one of those slate gray Michigan skies. They're going to drop snow on the ground, and we'll see who's what. We'll see who's what. A good old-fashioned weather god delivery of a 10-year war, Bo versus Woody type day. And we're going to come hit you, and we're going to keep hitting you, and we're going to take your quarterback from Rancho Cucamonga, California, and see how many times he sticks his hands in that fanny pack behind his waist. And we're going to make you feel colder. And then we're not going to just try and sack you. We're going to try and run you over. And they did it. And they did it, and it wasn't a perfect game. No. It wasn't a perfect game. They made mistakes. And each one of them, the old feeling crept back in me. Here it comes. And every single time, Michigan threw the haymaker. And it was absolutely glorious. Glorious. Incredible. And you know what? You could sit here and say, act like you've been there before, but I will tell you what. We haven't.
Yeah, right.
We haven't. I don't know the last time I've felt like this. And it certainly hasn't been since they've created the Big Ten championship game, which we have not been in. Not once in my life have I had the thought that I had over the weekend. It's like, when's that show on ESPN to announce what the current rankings are, to see who's where?
It's Tuesday night.
Okay,
Rich.
thank you. Thank you. And now I realize I hit the penthouse button and I get off, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking around and I'm looking at the view, and I'm like, this is great. And I'm like thinking, do I start bitching now about being third or second, and whether I'm being snubbed about being second or third behind the SEC team? What a great feeling. This is amazing.
Taking the view.
This is amazing. When do I get to start complaining about that? Tuesday night? Or maybe we'll be properly ranked 2.
I would think you'd be 2, right?
Why wouldn't we be?
Why wouldn't you be?
We just beat 2. We didn't just beat 2. We spanked them back to that state down south, or whatever you want to call it. That state below X-Michigan. Take your red X's and get out. Enjoy your consolation prize, maybe out here at the Rose Bowl, which breaks my heart to call it that. I'll help you get your reservations here in Los Angeles, you scarlet and gray slack-wearing folks. Come on out to Los Angeles. Enjoy it. I can't wait to see all you folks around here. I hope I run into every last one of you. Yes. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Albert Breer.
Tell me how that tastes. Oh, baby. And it's kind of like, Thanksgiving leftovers. It tastes better each passing day.
Factual.
Today was better than yesterday, which was better than the day before, and that was orgasmic. I used the proper word. Turn the frown upside down, J.K. Simmons. Turn it upside down. What's up, Chris Carter, Malcolm Jenkins, Zeke Elliott? All y'all have been stuffing it in my face. Thinking of you. Thinking of you.
Yeah, you did specifically tweet Malcolm Jenkins and Graham Rahal.
Oh, yeah, Graham Rahal.
Oh, yeah.
We
What's
forgot
up,
about
Graham?
him.
Yeah.
Oh, I drink your milkshake. I drink it up, Graham. Like I just won the checkered flag.
Killing it.
House money on Saturday. It will be, I understand, the most Michigan thing for all of us who are still living the negative Nelly past to step on ourselves against Iowa, which is, by the way, a professional ruiner of Michigan seasons. Even before the NIL years. Professional. At that. But not this Saturday that just passed. No. Thank you, Michigan Wolverine players who are champions of the East in the Big Ten. Go bring it home. And then we'll talk about where we go from here. As I tweeted back at John Legend, who I adore, where do we go? Who knows? But each day gets better. Lyrics he wrote. Oh, I cannot tell you how enjoyable this is.
Wow.
And I hope I speak for all you maize and blue out there. When we tell the Buckeyes, see ya. See ya. Enjoy the end of your season. Enjoy the game, the bowl game that you're getting for right now. Ready. And Jim Harbaugh. Hey, Jim, way to do it, man. Way to hang in there. And way to just keep your cool and calm and then drop this gem at the end of your victorious press conference in your first win as a coach against Ohio State at Michigan.
Done in the past, things that have been said, all that has gone on in this rivalry. How much did that push you guys today in the final game?
Well, it did. I mean, there's, yeah. I mean, I know that probably things you're thinking of are the same as I'm thinking of, but I mean, let's move on with humble hearts, take the high road. But yeah, there's definitely stuff that people said that spurred us on even more. Sure. Sometimes people that are standing on third base think they hit a triple, but they didn't.
Oh, baby.
Yo.
Now, what is he? Who is he talking about? This is football. It's not baseball, right?
It's not baseball,
no,
confirmed.
It's not baseball. Okay. Born on third base hitting triples. That's somebody who inherits a situation.
Absolutely.
That's the phrase that you hear about people who are from the lucky you-know-what club.
Mm-hmm. Inherited wealth.
The inherited wealth world, right? Yeah. So could he be referring potentially to Ryan Day, who I must absolutely congratulate for a remarkable run so far at Ohio State, where he's now 23-1 against Big Ten teams, by the way.
I mean,
that's impressive.
Yeah, that's
impressive. That's a way to stand on third base.
Yeah.
That's also a good way to say, hey, let's see what you can do without Urban. Oh, it sets the stage for next year. I get it. But right now, it's going to be a long year. Sorry, Ohio State fans. It's going to be a very, very long year. Because it's been a long 7 for me on this show.
Did you text Jim?
No, I'm going to leave him alone. Have you noticed we haven't had anybody on this show?
Yeah.
From Michigan?
I know. I was just wondering if you just
I'm leaving him
texted
alone. I'm leaving him alone.
Maybe just, hey, congrats.
This is my way of doing it.
Okay.
Jim, I heart you. I'm pounding my chest.
Let's go.
Let's go. And just maybe the greatest player in the history of the National Football League set the stage for a Michigan man in Indianapolis just yesterday.
Uh-huh.
We have arrived Oh, this is incredible. That felt great, honestly.
Rich, you really weren't joking about that John Cooper era. You guys really, 10-2-1.
Dude, and this remarkable, highly impressive, amazing, unprecedented Ohio State run leaves them now, after Saturday's loss, 7 shy of Michigan in the all-time head-to-head. Cyclical, folks. Circle of life. Enjoy. This has been a hell of a century. Maybe we just saw a page turn. And even if not, I'm going to act like it did. Because I've got a year to feel that way, don't I?
Happy for you, Rich.
Yeah.
Mostly happy for Susie, however.
Yeah.
So she had herself an enjoyable weekend.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was texting us pictures
Yeah.
and videos.
Oh,
of
she
you.
was?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got some pictures of
Oh,
you
yeah.
Oh, really?
with your hands on your head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, well, please.
And she was just like, what about me? What about my weekend? I'm like, well, enjoy it.
I was like, you're going to have a good night keeping him in check.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.